Good evening. My name is Chance Caton, and today we're going to be talking about the group proposal that I have created to address interpersonal violence reduction in Generation Z. So I've chosen youth 11 to 24 that are either at risk for or using violence that have been identified as perpetrators by a court of law. Specifically, this group would be composed of males and females in separate groups to foster those healthy conversations, healthy, open, and honest conversations. So these individuals have been identified as this type of scourge on Western society and are cast aside with very little resources to prevent and intervene in this topic. And the topic is violence. Specifically, males identified as at risk for violence or currently perpetrating interpersonal violence are provided with very little understanding, empathy, and compassion for these behaviors. Typically, these individuals have experienced multiple adverse childhood experiences and are affected heavily by the social determinants of health. To eliminate this interpersonal violence, unnecessary loss of life, mass shootings, gang activity, and poor mental health nationwide, we must provide this population with unwavering empathy. So, a quick summary of part A of my group proposal is that this population is, again, it's going to be those individuals between the ages 11 to 24, that Generation Z. So the identified problem is that these individuals are at risk for or currently using violence within their relationships. And these individuals have been identified through school resource officers, charter schools, Department of Corrections, individuals that are in foster care, homeless individuals, McKinney-Vento, and just those individuals in the court system that are currently perpetrating interpersonal violence. So really, there's some serious barriers to seeking help. In Arizona, there are 1,400 human service programs that address a variety of social needs at this time. None of them address change for this population. In the nation, there are only two programs that address the need to assist in intervention of interpersonal violence in those individuals that are 11 to 24. This is only one that is addressing this need with individuals that are at risk for violence. So the majority of these cultures within Western society are demonizing these populations instead of seeking the true reason behind what this type of behavior or why this type of behavior continues to occur. So we're seeing this in medical facilities, school systems, government, judicial systems, and human services representatives, such as social workers, continue to pass that proverbial buck onto the next until these individuals feel so lost that their only course of action is to activate that violence, to hold on to it, and to utilize it and become what society has labeled them. And what society has been labeling them is mentally ill, useless, violent, predators, and a drain on society. So the only service available right now to these individuals is tertiary at best. So society sits and waits while the population embraces stigma, joins gangs to feel included as they are outcast by their peers, and eventually bursts onto that 5 o'clock news with another tragic school shooting or murder. So in order to combat this issue, this is the program that needs to be created, this inclusive program to assist these at-risk individuals. And those program goals are going to be to increase the positive relationships, positive, healthy relationships with these individuals, define their individual purpose, and reduce those violent characteristics that are causing these individuals to become at risk for violence or perpetrate violence. So the summary of part B for the group proposal is, again, so the purpose of this program is to really increase those healthy behaviors by challenging that cognitive dissonance. And through challenging the cognitive dissonance, we can allow those individuals to create alternative core beliefs that can assist them in making small, manageable changes that they can actually change and make those healthy, safe, happy relationships occur. So the intervention level for this program would be primary and secondary. So primary, so if they've been identified as at risk for violence, we're going to try to intervene at that level, make sure that it doesn't occur. And secondary would be those that are currently using violence. So it's happened once, and we want to ensure that it's never going to happen again through a strength-based approach, through cognitive behavioral therapy, through dialectical behavioral therapy, and just through empathy, through caring. And through these modalities, they can understand who they are, right? Combat that cognitive dissonance, become mindful of why they're feeling these things, what the thoughts are that are associated with them, and why they're acting out, what's causing this. They're going to be challenging themselves and discovering that they really aren't alone in this, and they can build that confidence and structure, the self-love and self-confidence, and allow those left to their darkness to really find that light. And the strengths of this program are just to increase that sense of belonging. It being a group program, they're amongst their peers and they can start to challenge each other and understand that they do belong to a community, and they belong to the community that is seeking help, that's trying to find these healthy relationships, trying to find themselves, and trying to increase this happier world. So rationale for the need of the community, there's really a lack of resources. These strict gender norms are preventing the help seeking. These individuals think they have to be tough, so they can't go and seek help. There's really a lack of facilitators willing to work with this population. The strong stigma is associated with these at risk for using violence or currently using violence. Population kind of casts them out. There's a lack of those primary and secondary at will programs. And this population is underserved, overlooked, misunderstood. And then there's also that increase in use of violence and gang affiliation due to that stigma. The community is casting them out, so they're just looking for individuals that are like-minded. In this case, those individuals are going to be violent. The evidence-based relevance to social work interventions. So here we can see that group therapies bring something to the environment that you would not otherwise find within individual therapy. You get that human connection, that sense of belonging, that reduction in stigma, that knowing that you're not alone. CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy, can effectively bring awareness to and challenge those harmful behaviors through that challenging of cognitive dissonance. Dialectical behavioral therapy can assist in breaking through to at-risk youth while building emotional regulation skills that can assist in minimizing that aggressive behavior, which may lead to that interpersonal violence. The group evaluation, so there'll be a pre and post Likert scale test per session. No more questions than no more than 4 questions per session, and then an open discussion within the group setting so that those individuals that are within this can create sessions that are more effective towards them and their goals. A community collaboration, so really in addressing those that are at risk for violence or using violence within the community, those individuals become beacons of hope to their peers that are on the fence about seeking help and building healthy relationships. And here you can see that community impact, right? So we have that diminished gang activity, diminished violent behaviors, diminished violence in schools, decreased incarceration rates, increased healthy individuals, increase in healthy relationships, increase in educational successes, increase in positive media, increase in positive peer relationships, and that increase in quality of life for those participants. Thank you so much.